welcome back to the lecture series on refugee migration diaspora. So, today we are going to talk about digital diaspora and cultural influencers by taking into consideration some of the entrepreneurs and such transnational, transcultural influencers who are originally from India, such as Lily Singh and Rupi Kaur. So, diaspora, as we know by now, is a term which deals with the traditional link between nationality, homeland, and identity. It not only refers to the historical experiences of dispersal and displacement, which groups such as the Jews, the Africans, as well as the Indians faced, but this term also refers to a broader cultural and intellectual stance that questions the dominance of this category of the nation state, right? So, when we talk about diaspora, what we have in juxtaposition is the concept of homeland, and nation state. But this is something we have discussed in our previous lecture, that owing to globalization and transnational cultural exchanges and money flow, now increasingly this concept or this category of nation state itself is becoming less important and in fact fluid in nature, right? So the nation does not stay only within the geopolitical boundaries of the nation state. A piece or a part of the nation is also carried to the land where the migrants go and resettle. So a piece of this land, this it could be India, it could be Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Sri Lanka, which is carried and kind of retained and kind of experienced in a more hybrid form in the foreign land, in Europe, in America, or other parts of the world, right? So, nation as a category has been rendered a more fluid nature or fluid status. Postcolonial scholars like Stuart Hall and Arjun Appadurai have extensively explored the concept of diaspora, examining its relationship to issues of identity, colonialism, and spatial dispersion. As a concept, diaspora enables us to understand how people can maintain their cultural heritage while living in diverse and often challenging and hostile or unfavorable environments. It also highlights the fluidity of identity as well as the complexities of belonging in a globalized world. Critic and scholar Benedict Anderson suggests that nations are imagined communities, which implies that people who belong to a nation may never meet each other for real or in reality, and yet they share a common sense of belonging and identity. This notion of imagined communities is shaped by cultural factors such as language, history, and tradition. So, when we talk about India as a post colonial nation state, we are referring to some of the common cultural threads, some of the, kind of all binding history, and some of the common roots or traditional practices or meanings that people from the region actually share, right? So that's something, these are some of the factors, language, history, tradition, which bring kind of the people from different parts of India together. And there is this common identification, and through that, we derive a common identity, that of an Indian, right? So, migrants play a significant role in connecting distant regions and in developing global interconnectedness. Like I said just now, migrants carry a piece of their nation to the host land where they go and resettle. So, nation is not always within the geopolitical boundaries of where it is located. It is also carried on to and experienced in the diaspora. So the migrants challenge traditional notions of nation states and contribute to the emergence of new hybrid identities. By bridging cultural divides and promoting intercultural exchanges, migrants can contribute towards a more diverse and interconnected, interrelated and easily identifiable world. One part of the world can easily connect with and identify with the other part of the world. This is something that the migrants and the migrants, a diverse hybrid culture can contribute. Critic Sandra Ponzanesi explains that the advent of digital technologies has further transformed the understanding of diaspora, as online platforms enable diasporic communities to maintain connections and cultural practices across vast distances. So, while the internet has the potential to function or act as a tool for cultural imperialism, it also empowers diasporic communities to maintain and strengthen their cultural identities. Digital technologies have transformed the ways in which migrants connect with their homelands and build new communities abroad. In the present time, electronic media has become more prevalent. It has facilitated the creation of new diasporic public spheres. And this is evident in the increasing use of the internet in order to connect the members of diasporic communities, which are often bound by shared cultural heritage, language, or historical experiences. So, internet plays an important role in the creation of an alternative, imagined community, one could say. So it's a virtual community, an imagined community that the digital diaspora experiences and enjoys and creates through the internet, right? Through the electronic media. It's a way of finding a virtual home away from home. Due to their use of digital platforms to maintain their cultural identity and connect with others who share common background as themselves, they are known as the digital diasporas, also web diaspora or e-diaspora or net diasporas. The rapid and widespread nature of digital communication has transformed the way diasporic communities connect with each other. It's not just about data and algorithms. Rather, it is also about sharing and knowing more about, telling more about emotions, about intimate experiences and feelings, as well as about human connections. This emotional dimension of digital diaspora is crucial in order to understand the motivations, experiences, and impact, the aftermath of migration or the future trajectory of migration, the offshoots, the different offshoots of migration and immigrants, life, immigrant existence. So, by examining the role of emotions and feelings in long distance relationships, we can gain a deeper understanding of the dynamics of migration and diaspora. The media aid the digital diaspora in the emergence and popularity of cultural identifiers and cross cultural influencers and entrepreneurs. So, these cross cultural influencers and entrepreneurs that we are going to talk about in the rest of our lecture, names like Singh and Rupi Kaur come to our mind. They are basically celebrating these peculiar or unique nodes of contact where one culture meets the other. They are celebrating cultural identifiers. They are celebrating their hybrid identity, where they are neither from here nor from there, and at the same time both from here and also from there, right? So these digital diasporas and cultural identifiers have created a shared sense of belonging among the people that are connected over the internet, which also results in the emergence of new forms of cultural identities and identifiers. And we have these colloquial terms. They could be used as slangs sometime. So they can be celebratory and also derogatory in nature. Terms such as global Indian, desi, and brown. So these are, parts of the diaspora's common parlance, right? Terms like global Indian, Desi, and brown. Here, I would like to point out that Desi does not necessarily refer to Indians alone. In a foreign land, in the Americas or in Europe, when we are talking about Desi, we are referring to the population that is originally from the entire South Asia. So Desi actually encompasses India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, and so forth. So people from the South Asian part of the globe are, altogether, collectively known as Desi. So in her news article, Brown Desi South Asian Diaspora reflects on the terms that represent, erase them. So this is the name of the article. Brown Desi South Asian Diaspora reflects on the terms that represent, erase them. In this article, Sakshi Venkatraman explores the complexities of labeling South Asian diaspora communities. Terms such as South Asian, Desi, and Brown have been used to describe this diverse group of migrants, but each carries its own nuances as well as limitations. Whereas the term global Indian refers to popular icons of Indian origin who shape the identity and perception of India as well as Indians abroad. And talking about global Indians, we have luminaries or well known figures such as Priyanka Chopra, Vikash Khanna, and Dev Patel that come to our mind. According to Mallika Khanna, while South Asian is a broad term encompassing various nationalities, it can sometimes obscure regional and cultural differences. For instance, Desi is a more informal term which emerged from South Asian communities. However, Desi may not be inclusive of all groups or all regions from South Asia, especially, the southern part of India. The people from southern part of India, the South Indians, do not immediately relate with or resonate with this particular term, Desi. So, Desi is something that resonates more with the migrants that have traveled from the northern part of India, right? Brown is a relatively newer term which has gained popularity, especially among the younger generations, as a way of resisting and challenging racial hierarchies and promoting solidarity among people of color. And it is sometimes also used to represent Indians or people of South Asian descent. Ponzanesi explains that the old notion of diaspora, which accounts for the interruption of the unity between territory, nationhood, and state, is now remediated through new forms of diasporic digitality. So, what we understand is in the current times, diaspora as an experience, diaspora as a way of becoming, is kind of more complex. It is punctuated with newer determinants, newer factors, more influences coming in. So it can hardly be a very homogeneous and simplified kind of, or a broad, all encompassing kind of term, a one size fits all kind of a term. That is hardly the case. So, diasporic digitality allow people to keep in touch with the homeland, but also establish new connections across diasporas through multiple affiliations and intersections that are provided by cross media platforms. Another aspect of the digital diaspora is that diasporic communities, often marginalized or oppressed, utilize the internet to maintain connections with their homelands, so creating their virtual homes and virtual identifications and connections with a culture, with a land that does not define their immediate surroundings, or that does not relate to their immediate reality. This is something digital diaspora is doing as a way of beating or outgrowing or a defense against their marginalized or oppressed status. They are connecting with similar population through media, right? Through electronic media. And that's where they are celebrating their homelands and cultural heritage. This digital connectivity strengthens a digital diaspora's ethnic identity and reduces feelings of isolation. Additionally, some diasporas use the internet to advocate for the rights of the suppressed or marginalized groups and aim at preserving their cultural heritage and identity. So, one could say summarily that a digital diaspora not only has cultural and social aims, linguistic aims, it also has the aim of self preservation through realization of political rights and reinforcing of one's heritage and identity. Many diasporic people who had the zeal to express their creativity and the relevance of their content and wanted to proliferate the shared sensibility have used Web 2.0 to express their creativity. The diasporic communities across the internet have played a pivotal role in placing such talents to global fame. In the digital era, influencers are a subset of digital content creators defined by their significant online following. So they have their fan following, they have their fandom that they enjoy, they have distinctive brand persona and pattern relationships with commercial sponsors. Cross cultural influencers are individuals who not only bridge cultural gaps and influence people from diverse backgrounds, but also express their belongingness to their home nation through their content, the message that they are disseminating. So, cross cultural influencers and entrepreneurs often have a deep understanding of multiple cultures, and they can effectively communicate with audiences across different nationalities and languages, and they can navigate their persona, their performance according to the expectations of the different sets of audiences. So, the digital diaspora has created many South Asian cross cultural influences, including Lili Singh, Hassan Minhaj, Rupi Kaur, Rajakumari, Alok Ved Menon, and Tanais, each of whom have a distinct understanding of different cultures, which they utilize in their content creation in order to earn viewership from different social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, today we will discuss three of these cross cultural influencers and entrepreneurs, namely Lili Singh, Rupi Kaur, and Rajakumari, who adhere to and, in fact, celebrate their brown identity and showcase cross cultural elements through their creations. Coming to the first personality, Rupi Kaur, we see that with over 3.6 million Instagram followers, Rupi Kaur is one of the best known Insta poets. Her debut collection, Milk and Honey, which she originally self published, sold more than 3.5 million copies, and it was on the New York Times bestseller list for over 77 weeks and has since been translated into 40 languages. So we can see that one poem has, made her big and prominent in the electronic media. Rupi Kaur, a young immigrant woman from Punjab, has become a prominent figure in contemporary literature, challenging traditional notions of authorship. Her early experiences in Canada, where she struggled to communicate owing to language differences and language barriers, ignited her passion for writing poetry. So, Rupi Kaur is part of a new generation of diasporic writers who have leveraged the internet to build a significant following and often construct their online identities around specific markers of identity such as gender, race, and ethnicity. This self presentation strategy allows them to connect with audiences and establish a unique authorial voice. So let's take a look at this poem titled Accent by Rupi Kaur. This is how the poem goes. My voice is the offspring of two countries colliding. What is there to be ashamed of if English and my mother tongue made love? My voice is her father's words and mother's accent. What does it matter if my mouth carries two worlds? So, this poem entirely celebrates hybridity. This poem celebrates, belonging simultaneously to two worlds, to two parts of the world. She denies nothing, neither her Canadianness nor her Indianness. And she says that, what does it matter if my mouth carries two worlds? So I have my voice is coming from father's words and mother's accent. So they are wedded together, and that's how I speak what I speak. This poem accent transmits a linguistic struggle that she faced as an immigrant when she came to Canada for the first time, but it also celebrates her diasporic identity. In an interview with Young Poets Network, Rupi Kaur says the following, I quote, a lot of my poems, especially the love poems of the sun and her flowers, are inspired by ghazal, some of the most beautiful music, and that language can encapsulate ideas of love that English just cannot. It's what I listen to before I start writing. It gets the emotions flowing. It's just so beautiful, unquote. So she's writing in the English language, but the sentiments, the emotions, the inspirations are not only coming from the Canadian English culture. She is drawing her influence from ghazal, which is an Indian, form of music, right? And she says that the ideas of love, my ideas of love, cannot be adequately shaped unless I listen to a ghazal. So ghazal plays the muse in my ideation, in my imagination, right? Next, we're going to talk about Lily Singh, who was born on September 26, 1988, in Toronto, Canada. She is a prominent figure in the world of entertainment and social media. Singh has found worldwide fame through her comedic and inspirational content, amassing nearly 40 million followers across her social media channels, alongside projects with NBC, Netflix, as well as other major Hollywood studios via her production company known as Unicorn Island Productions. So, this is another woman originally from India who has made it big and who is currently residing in Canada. She's another cross cultural influencer and entrepreneur. Known for her comedic sketches, vlogs, and motivational speeches, Lily Singh has become a cross cultural influencer, bridging the gap between Eastern and Western cultures. Her content often blends Indian and Western cultural references, thereby fostering understanding and appreciation for different cultures. So, Lily Singh seamlessly blends Eastern and Western cultures through her content, often referencing Bollywood, Punjabi traditions, and her parents' immigrant experiences. Her popular character sketches include the character of Paramjeet, who is an exaggerated portrayal of her real mother, her biological mother. And then she also portrays the character of Manjeet Singh, husband of Paramjeet, who is another exaggerated parent portrayed after her father. By challenging stereotypes about South Asians and women in comedy, she has resonated with audiences worldwide, showcasing the diversity and talent within the South Asian diaspora. A vocal advocate for diversity and inclusion, Lily Singh has used her platform to address important issues such as mental health, body positivity, and gender equality. Her success as a global influencer has led to collaborations with international celebrities and a massive international following. Next, we are going to talk about another celebrity figure named Raja Kumari. So, Raja Kumari, born as Sweta Yallapragada Rao, is an Indian American rapper, songwriter, and singer. She is a prominent figure in the music industry who is known for her unique blend of Indian classical music and hip hop. So, Kumari smoothly mixes Indian classical music with contemporary hip hop, thereby creating a unique and captivating sound that challenges stereotypes about Indian women, and it also focuses on South Asian representation in her songs. Some of her more prominent songs include Bindis and Bangles, NRI, Roots, and Made in India. Her collaborations with international artists like Gwen Stefani and Iggy Azalea have brought Indian music to a wider audience, expanding the reach of Indian culture and inspiring a new generation of artists. So, to conclude our lecture today, the concept of diaspora has evolved significantly with the emergence of digital technologies. Diasporic communities, once geographically dispersed, are now interconnected through online platforms, thereby fostering a sense of belonging and identity across borders. Cultural identifiers such as Desi and Brown have emerged as markers of identity within these digital spaces, which shape how individuals perceive themselves and are perceived by others. Cross cultural influences like Lili Singh, Rupi Kaur, and Raja Kumari have played a crucial role in shaping the cultural landscape of the 21st century, especially how we understand diasporian experience in the 21st century. They have used their platforms to challenge stereotypes, promote diversity, and bridge cultural divides. They have used diasporic space on these platforms for their unique perspectives and experiences. These influencers and entrepreneurs have inspired millions, and they have contributed to a more interconnected and inclusive world. So, with this, we come to the end of our lecture today. Let's meet with another round of discussions in our next lecture. Thank you.